All right, everybody, welcome into the High Noon stream. I am Pugs Moran. We do this each and every day. What do? We do it Monday through Friday, noon till 2-ish. Yeah, 2, whenever. That's something 1:30, 2:15, 2:30, something like this. The High Noon Show is designed to bring you up to speed on all the things that are happening in the world today. We're going to talk about everything that's trending. We're going to talk about the headlines that are making news across the country. We're going to talk about hot topics. We're going to talk, if people are buzzing about it today, if it's something that's going on in the world and it's being discussed, we'll hit it right here every Monday through Friday between noon and 2 o'clock. This is the first of 2 that we do. We do 2 of these every day, 2 streams. Hold on, I gotta clock out of some stuff. I think I gotta reboot my whole damn computer. Not the show computer, the computer that I use for other stuff. Hold on, give me a second here. And then I'll tell you all about the second stream. Just let me do this. I'm not good at doing multiple things at once. The second stream comes on at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. That's right. We do this at noon, and then we come back later in the evening for a little bit of casual conversation. We call the 9 o'clock show. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. And again, that's Monday through Thursdays. That's every Monday through Thursday evening, right here at 9 p.m. on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. All right. I'm waiting for my stuff to kind of jump up. Okay, not connecting. Am I connected to the internet? Oh my God. All right. So, you know what? I'm just going to have to reboot the whole computer. I think my whole little work computer here needs to be rebooted. Maybe that's what I need to do. How are you, folks? Come on into the chat room. Come on, come all. Hi, Byron. Hi, Al. Hi, Leslie. People starting to show up. All right, there we go. All right, now we got it. All right, let's jump right into the show. Let's get things started. I don't know, where's everybody at? We've got a slow starting chat room. Maybe it's because I started on time. Is that it? That's got to be it. Hi, JBM. JBM's here. Mama Beller's here. All right, everybody's starting to line up. I like it. You got to say hi. Hi, Canadian Cheryl. Cheryl's from Canada. Right? Yeah, I think Cheryl's from Canada. All right, so let's just get started. Let's run through today's show. Oh, I also need to mention, this has been driving me crazy. So I've been telling you about, we just came through a crazy heat wave, and my air conditioning just kicked ass throughout the crazy heat wave. But now, it's starting to, it's not 110 every day anymore. Now it's just 95 every day. And the air conditioning has been giving me some problems. So today, I woke up this morning and it was doing the thing that it did when I thought it was broken. So there is a procedure that I have to do. And basically what that means is I have to turn the air conditioning off. So the air conditioning, it freezes up, like the unit. Any of you air conditioning dudes out there, you know what I'm talking about. The unit freezes up and it stops being able to blow air because the air intake is covered by ice. So you hear it going, you hear the air conditioning clicking on and off and going, but no air is blowing out because of the ice. So the procedure is you got to let that ice melt. Now you can let the ice melt naturally by just simply turning off the air conditioning and allowing nature to take its course, or you can go you can go to the extreme, which is what I have not done yet, but I will do it after the show. That's where you have to crank the heat. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees outside. You just have to close all the windows, all the doors. Well, you got that anyway because of the air conditioning. You're not air conditioning the neighborhood, right? Here come the hiccups. I thought I'd beaten the hiccups. But no, they're coming. Gotta blast the heat. Gotta blast the heat for about an hour. So after the show, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna blast the heat, and then I'm gonna come back into a fireplace of a. So if I look like I'm basically a long way of me saying if I look like I am sweating, it's because it's 95 degrees outside. Actually, I don't know what it is outside. Let's see what it is outside right now. It's because it's 95 degrees outside, and I have no air conditioning on for the next hour and a half. A little heat wave poker. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's only 86. It's only 86 right now. So that's good. That's not a terrible thing. I'm already sweating. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm trying to. Okay, let's get through this. Let's run through today's show before I melt before your eyes. All right, it is the High Noon Show. I am Pugs Moran. It is the 31st day of August, year of our Lord, 2022. There are 240. There's not 243 days left in the year. Why did I write that wrong? There are 243 days. This is the 243rd day of the year. Quick math. 122 days remaining until the end of the year. I don't know why I didn't write that down today. Usually I write that down. I just put the number and I labeled it wrong. Let's see what happened on history. We like to go through the historic events of this day just to get us up to speed on why today is important, why today is memorable on this day in 1535. Yeah, I know. I'm going back all the way back to 1535. Pope Paul III excommunicates English King Henry VIII from the church. This was, because King Henry, what was he doing? He was like, so they were Catholic then, like England was Catholic then. And Henry started like getting divorced, and you couldn't get divorced if you were Catholic, and certainly not if you were a king. So the Pope got mad. So then he just started murdering his wives, right? Isn't that what he did? He's like, okay, no divorce. What about murder? The Catholic Church seems cool with murder. So he tried that. And then finally he was excommunicated. And that's when Henry VIII said, fine, I'm a king. I'll just start my own church. And he did. And he started his own church. And that's now why you have the Anglican Church, the Church of England. Which is, one of the things that I always think of when I think organized religions are kind of just a group of guys who got together and said, let's all gather together and think the same thing. Faith is different than organized religion. Having a faith in a belief system is complete. You can have a faith in a belief system without actually being a card-carrying member of some organization, which is really all religions are. 1864, let's jump ahead. During the American Civil War, Union forces led by General William Tecumseh Sherman launched the assault on Atlanta. So on this day in 1864, the assault on Atlanta in the Civil War began. On this day in 1888, Mary Ann Nichols is murdered. Oh, boy. You remember when Mary Ann Nichols was murdered? No, I don't. But people in London do, because she's believed to be the first victim of Jack the Ripper. On this day in 1888, Mary Ann Nichols is murdered by Jack the Ripper. 1895, German Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin patents his navigable balloon. Yeah, they didn't call them blimps then. When did blimps come in? When did they start calling them blimps? Because they were Zeppelins. Because that's what it was. 1997, on this day, Diana died. So this is being talked about everywhere. It's the anniversary of Princess Diana's death. It was a Saturday night, wasn't it? I believe it was a Saturday night. And I remember my wife at the time, I'd just gotten married like a week before, like newlyweds. My wife and I, it was a Saturday night, and we were getting ready to go out. And I remember not getting ready, not jumping in. I remember like, oh, hold on, something's happening, because there was like breaking news. And we went out, and I remember being at the bar that night and just like staring at the TV because they had all the news channels on. And I was like, I was just watching. I'll never forget that. I'll remember exactly where I was standing. I remember going, no, hold on. Something is happening with Princess Diana. I remember saying that, like, something is going on here. That was a crazy night. And then we came home from the bars, and woke up the next morning, and that's when she's dead. She's dead. Let's do some birthdays. Let's celebrate some people who have made their mark on the world and came into existence on this very day. Here's a fun one. Born on this day in 1928. It's a fun one because I always got this guy not confused, but similar in my mind. They're similar kind of actors, so I didn't get him confused. I knew the difference. But I had talked about Lee Marvin the other day. The other day was Lee Marvin's birthday. And I said, man, Lee Marvin, one of the cool, badass actors. One of the original, like if there had been like an action, genre back then, Lee Marvin would have been like an action star. Lee Marvin and James Coburn. James Coburn, I always get these two dudes confused. I don't know, they're both tall. They both kind of look the same, I'm not saying all white people look alike, but these two white people did kind of look alike to me anyway. Lee Marvin and James Coburn. James Coburn, it's his birthday today. He was born on this day in 1928. You guys, we came close to doing a James Coburn draft because I really like James Coburn. But I couldn't do it because we do have another draft coming up, and I didn't want to do 2 drafts. But if I was doing a James Coburn draft, Magnificent Seven, maybe some Affliction. Have you ever seen Affliction? Whoo, man, good stuff. All right, other birthdays. Born on this day in 1945, Van Morrison, Northern Irish singer and songwriter. Brown Eyed Girl. Jackie Wilson. What else did he do? That's Jackie Wilson. Brown Eyed Girl and Moondance, right? Okay, I'm just trying to rattle off. I'm not a big Van Morrison fan. I feel about Van Morrison the way I feel about a lot of talented people who've made nice contributions to the world's culture. He's a guy. Not particularly a collector of Van Morrison memorabilia, but okay, he's a guy. Happy birthday, Van Morrison. I know a lot of people who love you, so there you go. Born on this day in 1949, Richard Gere, American actor, producer. Richard Gere, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Gere draft. You better believe it. We like to do drafts on this show. Whenever somebody comes up, I like to put their career resume under a microscope and try and figure out what the best thing they've done is. So we'll do that right now with Richard Gere. Richard Gere draft. Excuse me. All right, as always with my drafts, this is a 5-round draft, and then if it's warranted, we will invite some undrafted free agents into camp. The Richard Gere draft will begin with, again, I went deep, man. I would be a terrible general manager, I think, because if I number one pick on this Richard Gere draft, my number one pick, considering some of the other choices, would definitely be called a reach. But I love this movie. And it's one of his lesser movies. And it's a movie that maybe nobody saw. But my first pick in the Richard Gere draft is one of my favorite quiet movies of all time. And by quiet, I mean nobody has seen it, but it's so good. It's called Power. Power. From the mid-1980s, Richard Gere plays a political strategist. And it was the first time I'd ever seen a depiction of that job. Now we see it all the time. We've seen The West Wing, we have cable news, we know who political strategists are, these people that always pop up. Richard Gere played a 1980s political strategist in the movie Power, and it was a ruthless movie. It was just about great movie, Power. If you've never seen Richard Gere's Power, it is really interesting. It's not Richard Gere's Power. He just stars in it as the activist. Number 2 in the Richard Gere draft. Yeah, okay, now we're going to do some common ones. Officer and a Gentleman, of course. Mayonnaise. Remember Louis Gossett Jr.? Didn't he win an Oscar for that? Mayonnaise. I got nowhere else to go. Remember when he did that? He was doing like the push-ups in the rain because he was a bad soldier. And Louis Gossett Jr. is yelling at him, calling him mayonnaise. And then he looks up at him. I got nowhere else to go. Like, you're not going to kick me out. Good movie. Officer and Gentleman's a good movie. It is. Rom-com? No, it's not a rom-com, right? That's just a movie. Like, I don't know what to call that movie. Yeah, there's a love story at the heart of it, but a lot of movies have a love story at the heart of it. It doesn't make them a rom-com. There's not a lot of comedy. I mean, there are a couple light moments, whatever. Officer and Gentleman, it's a good movie. Number 3 in my Richard Gere draft, we're going with American Gigolo. Call me. American Gigolo. I never saw the movie. I gotta be honest, I never saw it. It came out at a time when I was little. I didn't know what a gigolo was. It wasn't really anything that interests me. And then I've never really seen it over the time. However, I did watch a YouTube breakdown of American Gigolo a couple of years ago. I don't know how I caught it. So this is why I think I've seen American Gigolo, because I watched a YouTube breakdown on it and I was like, man, that's a great movie. And so there you go. So that's why it's the number 3 pick. I've never seen it. Maybe I should see it today on his birthday. American Gigolo, the 3rd pick in the Richard Gere draft. Number 4, a little something for you ladies. This is definitely a rom-com. Pretty Woman. How do you do a Richard Gere draft and not have Pretty Woman? And finally, a really good movie. You guys remember Primal Fear? Primal Fear was the first 5th pick. Primal Fear was Richard Gere as an attorney and Edward Norton as a kid accused of murder. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's the movie. Was it like Edward Norton's first movie? It was the first movie where people went, Oh, that new kid, Edward Norton, he's pretty good. Yeah, that was a good movie. Primal Fear is badass. All right, now let's invite some people to camp because Richard Gere's got a resume. Richard Gere have been doing movies 70s, 80s, 90s. He's got a whole bunch of them. So here we go. Camp invites in the Richard Gere draft. We're going to bring in Looking for Mr. Goodbar. Looking for Mr. Goodbar is coming to camp. Breathless is coming to camp. Interesting. Yesterday, we talked about Jean Seberg. I told you about her. She was the American actress who went over to France and became like a big French New Wave cinema star and sort of an icon of that entire film genre. Murdered by the FBI. Told you about that? Jean Seberg murdered by the FBI. They didn't physically murder her, but they drove her to kill herself. Or wait, I don't know. Anyway, look, the FBI, they're culpable. Okay, they played a role. I'll just say that. So her big movie was Breathless, and then it was remade by Richard Gere and Natasha Kinski. I don't know. I don't remember. But it was a cool movie. It's a cool movie. Breathless. There you go. That's getting an invite to camp. Cotton Club. I love Cotton Club. Total bomb. Huge. Well, Francis Ford Coppola, right? Huge budget. Huge studio picture. And then all the critics just felt like tearing it down because they did. But if you've seen Cotton Club, that's a good movie. That's a really good movie. No Mercy. No Mercy gets a camp invite. Internal Affairs. Come on. Andy Garcia, right? Andy Garcia, Richard Gere, Internal Affairs. Runaway Bride. Richard Gere, Runaway. Is this Julia Roberts too, right? Did he do another one with Julia Roberts? How about Autumn in New York? I love Autumn in New York. I saw Autumn in New York like 10 years ago, 15 years ago on cable. I mean, it was just like, it was one of those things where I'm just laying on the couch back in the days when you still had to flip channels, when everything wasn't an app. And I was flipping channels and this movie was just starting and I just kind of laid there and I watched it and it was called Autumn in New York. And I've never heard of this movie before, but it's Richard Gere and it's really good. It's really good. Autumn in New York. It's very good. It's a nice, easy. I fondly remember that Saturday afternoon just laying on the couch going, that's a good movie. All right, Autumn in New York. There you go. The Hoax from about 15 years ago where he played an author. And of course, the Chipmunks. We're going to invite the Chipmunks. Richard Gere was not in the Chipmunks, but the Chipmunks were in Richard Gere. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? That was a long way to go for that bad joke. Long way. Too long, really, some might say. Who else was born on this day? Julie Brown, born on this day in 1954. Which one do you think? Which one do you think? Because if you're from the 80s like me and you're a Gen Xer, then you know that you can't just say Julie Brown. You have to be specific because there are two Julie Browns and they were both famous for the same 9 months back in 1989, right? this is it. It's like two people. They aren't famous now, but they were very famous, condensed in a period of time. They were very well known in a period of time. They had the exact same name. They worked on the exact same station. They were both MTV personalities. MTV hired two people named Julie Brown at the exact same time. And today it's happy birthday to West Coast Julie Brown. That's right. In short, the white one. It's the white one's birthday. It's downtown Julie Brown's birthday. And then, it's West Coast Julie Brown's birthday. Downtown Julie Brown is the other one. Which is like, I guess West Coast Julie Brown was West Coast Julie Brown because she was, oh my God, she was kind of like, that was kind of like her bit. And then Downtown Julie Brown was called Downtown Julie Brown because she's black and that's where black people are. Was that the thinking? Was that why? How do we differentiate? Well, we can't call them the white one and the black one. So let's call one the West Coast Julie Brown because she's like a West Coast Valley girl. And then the other one, she's black. So we'll just call her, someone probably went, public housing Julie Brown. Can we do that? No, we can't do that one. Inner city Julie Brown. It's better than public housing Julie Brown. But how about we just say downtown Julie Brown? People will know what that means. Wink, wink, wink. So there you go. Happy birthday, West Coast Julie Brown. The white one from MTV. I mean, how did that happen? Do you know how impressed in the audition they must have been with both of these people to not look at each other when the auditions were done and go, we can't have two Julie Browns. They didn't. Both of them were so good that they went, we can't have two Julie Browns, but we're going to have two Julie Browns. So there you go, MTV. Born on this day in 1957, Gina Shock, American drummer. Gina Shock is the drummer from the Go Girls. You Go Girls. Go-Go's, Gina Shock. Gina Shock is one of these people, and I know this because I just recently watched the Go-Go's documentary. I think it's on Showtime or something on demand. I don't know. But I just watched a documentary on the Go-Go's. I watch all music documentaries. I like them. Excuse me. Gina Shock was the drummer for the Go-Go's, and what's funny about her is that she's from Baltimore. I don't know if she's from Baltimore or Maryland, but she's from that region because she's got like the heaviest Baltimore accent. It's like, and the Baltimore accent is ooze, like a foon. Like they call you, like you get a call at him on the foon. Like that's how people. That's and it's just weird. It's an O thing. I took a phone call at home in Baltimore. I don't know, whatever it is. Gina Shock, happy birthday. Glenn Tilbrook. Excuse me. Glenn Tilbrook, also born on this day in 1957. Umbilical cousins with Gina Shock. Glenn Tilbrook, Squeeze. Singer from one of the leaders of Squeeze. Singer, whatever. There you have it. Born on this day in 1951. And as you know, what's the over-under on my sneezes? I'm going to set it at 4. I don't feel like there's going to be a real bad domino. Like I'm not going to do 20 sneezes, but I'll do at least 4. That's the over-under, so we're at 2. Chris Tucker was born on this day in 1971. Comedian Chris Tucker. I like Chris Tucker. I skipped one. I'm sorry, I skipped one. Born in 1970, a year older than Chris Tucker. Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson's kind of... Here's how I look at Debbie Gibson in music history, okay? So they gave us a Madonna. They were like, Madonna, let's unleash Madonna on the world. And then, Madonna's out there for a few years and they're like, man, we made a lot of money off Madonna, but she's so damn slutty. How do we get Madonna? How do we make her more palatable to like 12-year-olds? So they said, why don't we just create a pop princess? So they went and they got Debbie Gibson and they made Debbie Gibson. And Debbie Gibson was like the opposite of Madonna. Whereas Madonna was like sex clubs and, all this crazy. Debbie Gibson was more like church on Sunday and, promise rings. That was like her whole deal. Then, and this is where I say Debbie Gibson plays an important role. A few years later, like 10, 15 maybe, then they came up with Britney. Britney is when they merged the Debbie Gibson concept with the Madonna concept and completely blurred the lines of what's appropriate with like a 16-year-old kid. That was so Debbie Gibson plays the very same role that I believe that Guns N' Roses plays. Whereas Guns N' Roses is the bridge band between like Motley Crue and Poison and Nirvana and Pearl Jam. You know what I mean? There was like, you had the Motley Crue. We're dressing like ladies. We're wearing girls' clothes and we're rocking. There was that whole thing. And then Guns N' Roses came in and they had a little bit of that, like a little bit of the eyeliner and the teased out hair, especially in the early videos. But they weren't quite as femmy, let's just say, as some of the Sunset Strip bands who were basically just hot girls. Is that a dude or a girl? So you had Guns N' Roses, and they created that bridge to bring you to the flannel movement, which was... So I see Debbie Gibson in very much the same, as sort of a bridge act, as someone that the record industry, the recording industry looked at and went, we had success with Madonna. Then we switched it up. We had success with Debbie Gibson. And then, then they mix Debbie Gibson with Madonna and they come up with Britney. And they make a whole nother mint of money. All right, Debbie Gibson. Chris Tucker, we talked about him. Larry Fitzgerald is born on this day in 1983. Larry Fitzgerald. I love Larry Fitzgerald. Every time I see an interview with Larry Fitzgerald, I just think, man, what a guy. What a great guy. Just like a super athlete, super smart. Seems to be very conscientious, seems to be very self-aware. I just love Larry Fitzgerald. And happy birthday, 1985, born on this day. I didn't know this dude was 15, 16 years younger than me. This kills me. This kills me when I realize how old I am. It's MBS's birthday, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He was born in 1985. This guy, I would think that like the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia was my age or maybe 20 years older, right? I don't. How is the Crown Prince? That means I'm going to be dealing with this guy the rest of my life. That means this guy's going to be running Saudi Arabia probably for the rest of my life. Yeah. Well. All right, let's mourn some passings because we did have some passings that occurred on this day. 1969, Rocky Marciano. Not to be confused with Rocky Graziano. This is Rocky Marciano. This is the only undefeated boxer, heavyweight boxer in the history of boxing. He is ranked a top 10 puncher. He stopped everybody that he faced in a title defense, which has never been done before. Died in a plane crash. I gotta be honest with you. I mean, Marciano is held up as like, the greatest heavyweight of all time. He's not. He's just not. I'm sorry. He's just not. It is well established that he was heavyweight champion for 4 years in the mid 1950s. And that was a period of time when, it wasn't the heyday of the heavyweight division. Ezra Charles, and aging Jersey Joe Walcott, these are the guys. Anyway, can't take it away from him. He stopped everybody that stepped to take his belt, and he died very young. Well, not very young, 45 years old, but he died in a plane crash. That was on this day in 1969. On this day in 1997, of course, Diana, Princess of Wales, and Dodi Fayed. It's crazy to even include Dodi Fayed in this, right? But Princess Diana died on this day in 1997. We talked about it, and we were going out. I think it was a Saturday night. And it was like, come on, we got to go. And usually it's, the woman that's doing her hair. But no, it was me. It was the man of the house who didn't want to leave because something had happened to Diana. Jeez. I don't know. I was raised by a woman. I was raised around women. I can't help these things. I can't help what I'm interested in. I was interested. I wasn't in. Okay, just to be clear. I wasn't like, oh my God, something happened to Diana. I mean, I was concerned because she seemed like a nice lady. But it wasn't like, it's Diana, I can't go out. It was a massive breaking news story, okay? And everyone knows I'm a news junkie. So I wanted to watch the coverage. It wasn't because, I'm just love, I hope they didn't stain her dress. What was she wearing when she was... that's not me. I don't give a shit about Diana. It was an interesting story from a world perspective. All right, dead on this day in 2013, David Frost. David Frost, English journalist, game show host, and comedian. David Frost is an interesting guy because here in America, we think of him almost exclusively as this very serious British journalist, this man who sat down with Richard Nixon. He got the interviews with Nixon over the course of multiple nights. Very serious man. David Frost was not a serious man. David Frost was a comedian. David Frost started on BBC TV as a wacky guy, as a guy that did silly stuff. As a matter of fact, you can thank David Frost for the fact that Monty Python's Flying Circus is a thing, because David Frost did a show in the early 1960s, a very popular show in England. It was called See It Now? No. That was Mike Wallace, right? And it's funny because I not confused, but there are similar career trajectories for Mike Wallace, who 60 Minutes, and David Frost. David Frost did a show which was a news, almost like the Daily Show. It was like news events, but it was all done with a comedic twist. In the 1960s, it was very popular. And all of the people that he cast to be on his show, not all of them, but many of them, like four of the main people, would go on to form Monty Python. It was where John Cleese got his start. It was where Michael Palin got his start. So all of these guys, David Frost sort of put them all. He saw them. They were in some of them were working in comedy groups, and he put them on the show. He made them famous, and then that allowed them to then get together and go, hey, let's talk to the producer and say we've got an idea for a show. As we've talked about with Mike Wallace, Mr. 60 Minutes guy, Mike Wallace started out as an actor and a commercial pitchman. That was all Mike Wallace. Hi, I smoke Parliament, whatever it was. He was that guy. He was on commercial. He was handsome, and he had a very authoritative way. So they thought, hey, I bet people would accept the news from that guy. I mean, they're buying the cigarettes that he's selling. So, we revere Mike Wallace as this sort of icon of American journalism, just as we sort of look at David Frost as this sort of icon of British journalism. And really, they're both just guys who fell into being journalists. They wanted to be famous for other reasons, which is probably a dangerous concoction. Let's see here. Tom Seaver died on this day in 2020. One of the great American baseball players to ever throw a baseball. Tom Seaver died on this day. Mets great. Yeah, I don't include him with the White Sox. He retired with the White Sox. Mets great. Anyway, Tom Seaver died on this day. Did you notice? I couldn't remember anybody else Tom Seaver played for. Who else did Tom Seaver play for? But I mean, his great years were with the Mets, right? Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver, Jerry Kuzman. That pitching staff was ridiculous. But I, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Dodgers. I don't know. Maybe like Philadelphia or something. I don't know. Tom Seaver, though, he died. Let's get into what's trending, shall we? That's what this show is all about. We like to talk about all the things that are happening in the world. Oh, I'm sweating. You guys remember, because I don't have the air conditioning on today because my air conditioning unit's frozen. So I got to let it thaw out. Oh, boy. I'm starting to sweat. Gorby is trending. Gorbachev is trending. He died yesterday at the end of the show. I freely admit that I thought he died 20 years ago. Didn't know he was still around. The world is now reacting to the passing of Gorbachev, Mikhail Gorbachev. Yeah. Oh, is she coming in? The irrigation guy's here. Oh, get her in here then. Hey, everybody, look. Hamel's here, and he's letting the dog in. All right, thank you. All right, come here, baby. Come here. CeeLo, come here. Let me take your... Come here, CeeLo. See what I mean about this dog? Come here, CeeLo. Come here. See if you can see her. Where'd she go? Come here. All right, here she comes. No, not. Oh, great. Now look at her. Stop it, you nut. Stop. Get down. Get down from there. Come here. Come here. Let me take off the collar. Now go lay down. Go lay down. Your collar's off. You can relax. All right. Go away. Did you hear that? Like, I'm telling you, this girl's a maniac. Come here, baby. Get down. Get down. Just jump. Oh. She's not being good today. She wants to go sit by her door. Go in the bedroom. Go to bed. Go lay down. Good girl. Okay, we solved that. Now she'll be good for the next. Although she's not going to like that the air isn't on. She is not going to like that. All right, back to Gorbachev. So Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday expressed his deepest condolences on the death of former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. Deepest condolences. That was the best Putin could muster. Putin hated Gorbachev. Putin was in the KGB at the time when Gorbachev initiated the policy of glasnost. Glasnost and perestroika were the words that were thrown around in terms of what the Soviet attitude towards the West was under Mikhail Gorbachev. Stop it! Seriously! Holy cow! I am so sorry. Can you hear her? Come here. Come over here. Show everybody your stupid face. Show everybody your stupid... Look at that tongue. Look at that stupid tongue. Okay, stop it. You have water. Put that in your mouth. Ew. Now it's all wet. No, you can't come up. She is a lap dog. She's trying to climb into my lap. And she's giant. So she can't climb into my lap. Put her drooling. Go. Okay, I love it. Okay, you're a good girl. Well, you gotta go. Okay, come here. Come here. Go lay down. Go lay down. Oh my God. Oh, I'm covered in jaw. Here's a towel. Okay. That's what I'm listening to. Go drink some water, weirdo. She's gonna sit there in her little black chair, right next to the little food thing. Yeah, it's a mess. All right. We don't need to deal with her. Can you guys handle it? I can't handle the breathing. I can't handle it. It's driving me nuts. There's somebody in the yard, and her daddy's down there. Emil's her daddy, and she wants to know why her daddy's down there talking to somebody in the yard. And so she's going to come up here, and she's going to ruin my show. I'm going to lock her in the bedroom. Trying to talk about the passing of... Yeah, thanks, Frank. It's a cool little guest house. I mean, you can only see one little room of it, but you go in, you make a right, you make a left. There's other things to do. It's someday I'll take a tour. Maybe that's something fun we can do. We can take a tour. I showed you the terrible. My kitchen is terrible right now. I got the kids coming tomorrow, or kids coming Friday. Like I clean the whole house before he comes, and I clean it after he comes, and then for 2 weeks I don't do anything until he comes again, and then I clean it. And it's okay. Please go lay down. Oh, she's driving me insane. All right, so Gorbachev and Putin didn't get along. Putin hated Glasnost. He hated perestroika. Glasnost and perestroika were the policies that were implemented by Gorbachev back when he realized that the Soviet Union could no longer continue on this Cold War path. It was bankrupting the country. They were just not making it. He decided he needed to make life better for the Soviet people as opposed to continually trying to put all of the resources of the state into keeping up with the West. That's what Glasnost. What does Glasnost mean? Glasnost means openness. That's right. Yeah. And perestroika means reconstruction. So perestroika and glasnost were the reconstruction of the Soviet under Gorbachev and a new attitude towards openness to the West. That's what he did, man. When the Soviet Union fell, if a guy like Putin had been in charge when the Soviet Union fell, he would have done a whole bunch of different things in order to maintain and hold on to power. Gorbachev was a smart man. He was a world leader. He understood the global position of the Soviet Union and how the Soviet Union was going to have to move forward after the fall of their communist whatever. He understood that. He couldn't become a pariah. He couldn't cause the people of the Soviet Union to suffer anymore. So he made some incredibly difficult decisions, some incredibly humble decisions. Gorby isn't like Putin. Wasn't all about ego. You never saw Gorbachev riding shirtless on the back of a horse. You know what I mean? They were just two different kinds of men. And a lot of people say that humanity, not just America or the Soviet, humanity owes a big to the fact that when the Soviet Union fell, that it was somebody with the temperament of Mikhail Gorbachev who was in charge of that country, who made sure that it didn't spill off into the. I mean, look, they had problems. We all know about the situations with the breakaway republics in the Balkans and all that kind of stuff. But it's not like they spilled into Finland. It's not like it became a big whole war because there were 3 different factions in the former Soviet Union that wanted control. I mean, so he does deserve credit. And I don't know that Mikhail Gorbachev is or has been among the rank and file of us held in that level of esteem as somebody who we really do owe as human beings. Thank you for not going, it's all going down. Launch them all. You know what I mean? He didn't do that. There have been world leaders who probably would have done that. But Putin didn't like him. Putin never liked him because Putin wanted to hold on to the Soviet power, and Putin certainly would have never allowed the breakaway nations and all that kind of stuff. So Putin didn't like him, but the best Putin could say was basically deepest condolences. Let's see here. Boris Johnson in England says, in a time of Putin's aggression in Ukraine, Gorbachev's tireless commitment to opening up Soviet society remains an example to us all, said Boris Johnson. Patrick Leahy, Senator Patrick Leahy, says Gorbachev would never have been the war criminal that Putin is. Well, yeah, he never did. Senator Shaheen said Gorbachev's absence has loomed large amid Putin's bloody, unprovoked war in the Ukraine. Former Secretary of State James Baker, one of the last surviving world leaders from the Gorbachev era, told Reuters, history will remember Mikhail Gorbachev as a giant who steered his great nation towards democracy. He played the critical role in a peaceful conclusion of the Cold War by his decision against using force to hold his empire together. See, that's the big thing that he never gets credit for. I mean, it could have been so bad, but it wasn't. He held it together. He didn't fight the change in power. He didn't, let me just say that I don't even want to go into it. All right. Let's see. Irish Prime Minister Michael Harris says his sense of history and commitment to openness and reform and building bridges with the West changed the world. French President Emmanuel Macron wrote in the French newspaper, Gorbachev was a man of peace who changed our common history. And then the incoming British Prime Minister, because remember Boris is gone. What's her name? Liz Truss, I guess. British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, the front runner to become the next British Prime Minister, also praised Gorbachev's work in the West, saying, "Now more than ever, this legacy of cooperation and peace must prevail." So there you have it. All right, world leaders. I expect this to be a very big funeral. Although, oh my, think about this. So Gorbachev's funeral has to be in Russia. Has to be. He's a Russian. He's a historical Russian figure. They're not going to put him in the ground in France. So it's his funeral is going to be in Russia, but Russia is kind of. In other words, is there going to be a big funeral in Russia and that would normally be attended by all the world's leaders? I mean, Mikhail Gorbachev, if there wasn't a war with Ukraine, Mikhail Gorbachev's funeral in Russia would be attended by Is nobody going to go? You can't go. We can't send. We got Brittany Griner over there in jail. We are sending weapons and massive amounts of money to the enemy of the current Russian regime. We can't send people to Russia. They're not going to. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Maybe they can. I don't know. Life expectancy is also trending today. Gorby got 91 years. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a guy of his generation. That's good. Me and my generation, we expect to beat that. However, due to the pandemic of the last couple of years, for the first time since 1996, and I don't know what the reason was in 1996, but for the first time since 1996, life expectancy in the United States has declined by 2 years. 2 years. So how old are we expected to live? U.S. life expectancy estimates have fallen to the lowest level since 1996. This according to a new federal report marking the second straight year of plummeting estimates in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Health officials say the drop in life expectancy from 2019 to 2021 fell by 2.7 years. Are you ready? All right, so here's the median life expectancy for someone here in the United States. Are you ready? 76.1. 76.1. That's the average. That takes into account everybody lived to 100 and takes into account infant mortality. See, the average, the median of a 70, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You should expect to beat 76. Let's see here. And also, people from that generation. See, here's another reason why I look, life expectancy is going to bounce back. It's going to bounce back. This is due to the pandemic. A lot of people died very young. It screwed the numbers, People born in like the 1930s, and are there anybody from the 20s still alive? There might be a few people from the 20s still alive. But people born in the 20s and the 30s, and maybe even the 40s, they did a good 40 years of serious hardcore damage to their bodies. Whether it was, whether it was the chain smoking cigarettes from the time you're 10 years old, the little kid on the street corner in the 1920s, seems that excessive drinking, like absolutely no regard for eating good, no idea. People in the 1950s didn't really, 1940s, 1930s, they didn't sit down to a meal and go, okay, I need a salad because I've been eating nothing but cheese-covered beef. You know what I mean? It was a different lifestyle. So now we're all a little healthier. Medical science has also progressed to a point that it can extend our lives. But people didn't jog in the 1960s. I mean, you know who jogged in the 1960s? Weirdos. Look at that weird guy just running. He's got a car. Why is he running down the block? That was, and then now, a lot of people work out, home gyms. There were no health clubs in 1960. There was a gym where a bunch of muscle guys worked out, something like that. But there wasn't like a health club. You didn't go and take a Pilates class in 1963. So we're healthier today. So and don't be freaked out by the look. This is clickbait. U.S. life expectancy drops. It's clickbait. We know it's because of the pandemic. We know it's because crap tons of people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s died during the pandemic, and that screwed the number. So give us a couple more years, and then we'll check out the life expectancy numbers because it's been sullied. It's been sullied by the pandemic. Housing index is trending. Goldman Sachs has doom and gloom, folks. Doom and gloom for the housing. The three worst places in America. Are you ready for the three worst places in America currently to buy a home? These are the three worst. Number 1, Boise, Idaho. Boise, Idaho is the worst place in America currently to buy a home. They say this is because there was about 5 years there where everybody was like, let's move to Boise. And so, similar thing that's happening here in Texas. So a lot of people from like the West, like California and stuff, decided, let's start out in a fresh place. So they all moved to Boise. And then all of a sudden, a house that used to cost $150,000 in Boise now costs $300,000 in Boise because a bunch of people from LA moved there and they didn't know the difference because they're used to what the prices there are. So the local realtors in Boise realized that they could juice the prices a little bit for a certain type of customer who was coming in. And now they've got these $150,000 house that they paid $300,000 for, and they're coming back and they're looking at these houses and going, "Hey, yeah, the house is only worth $150,000." Well, then why did I pay $300,000? Anyway, that's what happens. These hot places that get hot, suddenly, a year ago, 2 years ago, Boise was probably the number 1 best place, and now it's the number 1 worst place. Charlotte, North Carolina is number 2. Worst place to own property. And number 3, this ain't good, Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas is the 3rd worst place in America to own property. Your property is worth, basically, it ain't worth what you paid for in Boise, Charlotte, and Austin. Arcade Fire is trending. The band Arcade Fire is trending because they're out there. They're on tour. I think they're out there on tour with Feist. What are they touring with? Feist. They started their world tour in Dublin, and this is the first show that they've done in Dublin since their leader, Win Butler of Arcade Fire, Canadian group, Arcade Fire. They're from Montreal or Toronto. I don't know, one of the two. I like Arcade Fire. They're okay. Not anymore though, because I'm on the cancel bandwagon because we're canceling Win Butler. Arcade Fire start world tour in Dublin after Win Butler abuse allegations. All right, you ready for this? The lead singer of Arcade Fire is apparently he's a bad guy. Let's burn our Arcade Fire records. I don't ever want to hear another Arcade Fire song because someone made an allegation against the singer, and I can't enjoy the music anymore because I'm a freaking moron. Arcade Fire started their world tour in Dublin on Tuesday, days after the band's frontman, Win Butler, was accused of sexual misconduct. Over the weekend, a Pitchfork investigation found 4 people aged between 18 and 23 accused the musician of behaving inappropriately. Oh, well, inappropriately. Let's put him in stocks. Let's cancel his record contract. Let's make sure he never does another thing ever again to earn money to put food on his table because he has been accused of being inappropriate. Can we get more specific? The allegations ranged from sexual assault to unsolicited sexual text messages and forceful touching. See, I'm being snarky about this because I've read the details. I know what the supposed sexual assault really is. Butler has denied the allegations and said all encounters were consensual. I have never touched a woman against her will, he said in a statement to the music site. By the way, it's also weird because isn't he married to like his bandmate? Isn't like his wife in the band? Butler has denied the allegations. I've never touched a woman against her will, he said in a statement to the music site. It is deeply revisionist and frankly just wrong for anyone to suggest otherwise. The Grammy Award winner, who is married to bandmate Regine Chassagne. I have no idea how to say that French name. Chassagne. So Agne is I've heard pronounced as Anye. So Chassagne. Regine Chassagne cited past struggles with alcohol and depression and said he was very sorry to anyone who he hurt with his behavior. The Pitchfork investigation covered 2015 to 2020. Ooh, 5 years. When Butler was aged between 34 and 39, all of his accusers were at least 10 years younger. He's a freaking rock star. I think that one who spoke to Pitchfork under the pseudonym Lily and uses the they-them pronouns said that she met the musician at a concert in 2015. After the gig, Butler allegedly touched and kissed her in a car without consent. Okay. On another occasion, Lily claimed that after opening their front door to Butler, he pinned me up against the wall and was aggressively grabbing my body and sticking his tongue down my throat. Butler said he had touched Lily's thigh in the car and that the second interaction was definitely mutual. A woman giving the pseudonym of Stella said that she started exchanging messages with Butler in 2016 when she was 18 and he was 36. All right, that's a teen. You can just stay away from anybody whose age has the word teen in it. Like 18, 19, 20 is still problematic. That's still problematic, but at least it's not as gross as like, yeah, my girlfriend's in her teens. Ugh. She said the singer later began repeatedly sending her explicit texts without her consent or reciprocation, and she told him they were not wanted. All right, so there you go. Anyway, they've been boycotted in Canada. Canada is no longer playing Arcade Fire music. And if you ever listen to an Arcade Fire song, again, and you enjoy it, if any minute you forget about these allegations and you find yourself enjoying an Arcade Fire song, remember you're a piece of shit. You are a piece of garbage because these allegations mean you have to instantly despise everything about the band and about him, and let's cancel him and let's get rid of him and on to the next person whose life we're going to destroy. I don't know if any of this stuff is true. Some of the allegations as published by Pitchfork, to me, do not seem... they ain't Harvey Weinstein, okay? They are closer to who was the guy that was on Parks and Recreation? Aziz Ansari. They're closer to the Aziz Ansari thing. Not quite as innocent as Al Franken, but certainly we ain't talking about Weinstein here. So, okay, whatever. But that's why Arcade Fire is trending. So if you're a fan of Arcade Fire, stop being a fan of them because there have been allegations of inappropriate texts from the lead singer to a groupie because God forbid groupies are a thing. Crypto.com is trending. This is funny. Crypto.com, of course, Mark Wahlberg, he does the commercials for Crypto.com and Crypto Center. The old Staples Center is now Crypto Center down there in LA. Crypto.com made a mistake. They were trying to refund a guy some crypto, like $7. They were trying to refund a guy like $7. And they accidentally sent him like, how many? What did they send them? Well, make sure I want to get this number right because it's a fun number. It's such a crazy number. Okay, so it was a $68 refund. They were trying to send this guy a $68 refund, and they accidentally sent him $7.2 million. Oh my God! $7.2 million. And the person got the money and then didn't contact them, didn't say, hey, I think this is a mistake. Because, found money, 7.2. Their mistake, I'm just going to take it because I'm a garbage person. So they took the money and then immediately bought like a $1.5 million house with it. And this has been going on for 5. The crypto would have never caught it. They caught it like 2 years later because they were doing some internal audit on something and they discovered this just mistake, this weird, they would never have discovered it. And so now they want the money back. And the person's like, no, sorry, I spent it. You sent me that money. It was in my account. I spent it. Which raises the question, do you spend it? I say no. I said, look, here's what I say. If all of a sudden my bank account has $7.5 million in it, here's what I'm doing. I might go on a vacation. I might spend like $5,000 of it, a nice dinner, that kind of thing. And then I'll call them and I'll say, okay, so I spent $5,000 of it. You're not getting that back, but I would be happy to give you the rest of this back. You can't keep $7.5 million. You can't. Yeah. You just can't. That's too big a number. Just be honest, people. Just be honest. Okay. Now, I know I said I would take about $5,000, but I think that's what I should be paid for my honesty and giving back the rest of it. I'd pay some bills. I'd get all my, that's what I would do. I would get all my bills cleared for like the next couple of months. And then I go, hey, I think there was a mistake. I think you accidentally sent me seven. Wait, how much did they send? What was the number again? I want to make sure I got the number right. So you accidentally sent me $7.1 million on accident. Oh yeah, we see that here. We have it as $7.2 million. Yeah, it's $7.1 million now. But I am going to give you that $7.1 million back. I think you could make that work. I think you might be able to make that work. I mean, and then if they're like, well, we're going to sue you, then you'll be like, okay, well, then I'm going to take the rest of your 7.5 million and I'm going to hire like a dream team of lawyers and I'm just going to spend all of your money defending myself. You know what I mean? You could just totally screw with them. But give it back. Just give it back. Leonardo DiCaprio is trending because, oh my God, ladies, Leo is single again. Look at this, huh? Leo DiCaprio and his girlfriend, Camilla Morone. Yeah, they broke up. 4 years of dating. It's got to be some kind of a record for him. There you go. Have at it. He's single. Do you know who this Christina Bob person is? This Christina Bob person is trending, and typically we don't like to get into the divisive political stuff, but this is kind of funny. This is a very interesting, from a historical standpoint. If you can just sort of, forget about whatever way you lean. Forget about if you're right, you're left, you're MAGA, whatever. Just listen. This is interesting from a historical standpoint. Okay, so Christina Bob is one of the attorneys for former President Trump. And Christina Bob, she's a former Newsmax anchor. She's also a lawyer. I don't know. Only the best. Okay, so your Newsmax anchor, she's now handling all of your classified documents. So she was kind of the one who the Trump people at Mar-a-Lago said, okay, you're in charge of all these documents. So she's like the firewall, right? And back in June, when the FBI first served a subpoena, which wasn't really reported, I don't remember this happening back in June. Back in June, when they first showed up there looking for these documents, they were given a bunch of boxes. And at the conclusion of them saying, yeah, we need all that stuff back. And like, oh, sure, we got it right here. So they just give it to them. She is the person who handed all of those over and then signed official FBI documents stating that this is all of them, that this is all of the documents. Okay, so she signed that. She's the one going to jail. She is the firewall. Now, when I say this is interesting from a historical perspective, is this woman, she's looking at 15 years in federal prison for lying to the FBI where classified documents are concerned. It's a big charge. She is looking at 15 years and she is dead to rights guilty. She is dead. She signed, they have the documents. They released the document with her signature stating that this is all that we have. Well, as it turns out, it wasn't even half of what they had. She gave them a little bit to make them go away. And then she signed her name because obviously she has no integrity and signing her name means nothing to her. And now she's probably going to go to jail. Whether or not they take it any further and indict, the big man himself or anybody in his immediate circle, we'll just have to see. We don't know if that's going to happen, but we do know there's going to be an indictment on her. There is going to be an indictment on his current attorney who signed these documents. These are now falsified. She perjured herself to the FBI during an FBI investigation. That is not good. So will she go to jail? Have you seen Christina Bob? She ain't going to jail. This is someone who appears to be a bit of a grifter and completely in it to take advantage of a situation that will benefit herself. She was lured by the attraction of power. That's how she got with all of these people. She loved the power base. She loved that she ain't going to jail. If somebody told her, if she was given any instructions, I don't know where it goes above her, but her client is Donald Trump. If that's her client, she's his attorney, is she going to flip? Is she going to tell when the FBI puts her on trial looking at 15 years in federal prison for perjury? Yeah, I don't know. That's why it could be historically interesting, because they've got people that they're putting screws to. And will these people talk? And if they do talk, do they have anything to say? Is there something to say? So, that's why this whole thing is interesting. We got a Texas pastor here who got himself in a little bit of trouble. He's up there in Flower Mound. Apparently, he has stepped away from his duties at what's this church called? Let's see here. This is the pastor of a Texas megachurch was placed on leave after church leaders determined that the Instagram messages between him and a woman who is not his wife crossed a line. The Village Church, Matt Chandler is his name. Matt Chandler of the Village Church in Flower Mound. Here's the deal. He wasn't sexting. He wasn't hitting on another woman. There was no sexual conversation. It wasn't. Apparently, he swore a couple of times in text messages, like, oh, that fucking guy, stuff like that, But the conversations between him and the woman, they're not saying that, he was like, so underage girl, he's trying to, he's having sex with people. No, that's not what they're saying. They made him step away because apparently he used some vulgarity in his text, and that was deemed to be unbecoming for a pastor. Which is, that's a pretty tough line to have to toe, but okay. Chandler 48 said a woman approached him in the church's foyer several months ago about concerns regarding Instagram messages the pastor exchanged with her friend. Oh my God, is this a church lady Karen? So a church lady Karen comes up to the pastor after, then she tells him, I'm very concerned about some of the messages that you're sending to my friend. I don't think it's appropriate. So but that's not what it was about. That's not what it was about. It's not that it's inappropriate. It's that this woman was upset that she wasn't getting to exchange text messages with the pastor. Because we all know that in these bizarre ass worlds of the megachurch, the pastor is like Mick Jagger. He is like the most important guy. That's what this is about. Chandler 48 said a woman approached him in the church's foyer several months ago about concerns regarding Instagram messages that he had exchanged with her friend. I didn't think I had done anything wrong in that, he said. My wife knew, her husband knew, and yet there were a couple of things that she said that were disorienting to me. So when the woman confronted him, he's like, wait, what? My wife knows that I talked to her, that her husband knows that, I'm confused as to why you're saying it's inappropriate. So there you go. The Village Church said in a statement Sunday that Chandler shared those concerns with his wife and two elders, who then commissioned an independent law firm to conduct a review. Okay, so he did it to himself. So he gets confronted by this woman about inappropriate text message. This pastor immediately turns to the church elders and says, hey, look, a woman just confronted me on this. Why don't you guys look into it? Doesn't seem like he's hiding anything. It seems like he's doing everything. The investigators' report led the elders to conclude that Chandler's message history violated the church's internal social media use policy, as he, quote, did not use language appropriate for a pastor and did not model behavior that we expect from him. So that's what it's about. He had some salty language with a parishioner who he's friendly with, like friends talk, like friends text. And now he's got okay, whatever. Because some Karen was upset that she wasn't getting to have the private text time with the pastor. I swear to God, I think that's it. I bet you that's the motivation. These two women, they're friends. They go to the same church. One woman is like, well, I was texting with the pastor last night. And then the other woman goes, I don't get to text with the pastor. I'm going to confront him because it's inappropriate. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's because people are awful. What else do we have? Oh, Harry Styles is trending. This is funny. If you like Harry Styles, and that's fine. I don't know. I don't know if I like or dislike Harry Styles. I just know he's everywhere. I don't know anything about his music. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. Watermelon Sugar. I know that song. All right. That's kind of okay. So I got no problem with Harry Styles, but I love this. Harry Styles is like a militant vegan. And so now at all of his concert stops, people are bombarding him on stage with chicken nuggets. Oh, is that funny? They're bringing chicken nuggets into Harry Styles shows. And when he starts singing, everybody starts launching chicken nuggets at him. Harry wants you to stop. Chicken nuggets. Mickey Dolenz is trending again. This really bothers me because Mickey Dolenz was trending at #1 earlier today. And we talked about this Mickey Dolenz story yesterday, which only goes to show you that you get the news before everybody else talks about it when you tune into the High Noon Show every Monday through Friday at noon. So we're not going to go back into the Mickey Dolenz story. Suffice it to say, he is suing the FBI to have them release all of their investigative information concerning the monkeys from the 1960s. The FBI was looking into the monkeys, and now Mickey Dolenz wants those records to be released and made public. Let's see what you got. That's what he says. Luke Bell. Do you know who Luke Bell is? I don't know who Luke Bell is, but apparently he's a country singer, and unfortunately, he has passed away. Luke Bell has passed away at 32 years old. Apparently, he went missing like a week ago, and so there you go. Very sad. If you're a fan of Luke Bell, I'm unfamiliar, but oh, hold on a second. Let me check something here real quick. Okay. Let's see. Who else do we got? Shia LaBeouf is trending. This little piece of trash. I hate Shia LaBeouf. I hate Shia LaBeouf, and I hate him even more now because of the story that's trending today. Have you ever seen Honey Boy? Have you ever seen Shia LaBeouf's autobiographical film that he directed and wrote and stars in about why he's such an asshole? That's really what the story's about. It was Shia LaBeouf, who had about a 10-year career in Hollywood, who shit on everybody, who should have been a big star, but he was such an a-hole that nobody wanted to work with him, that he had some real career hiccups. So he makes this movie as sort of a way to explain to everybody why he's such an asshole. And in the movie, he played his own father. He played his own father as a stage father of a young child actor. Shia LaBeouf was a child actor. And in the movie, he portrays his father as a abuser, alcohol, all of these horrible things. He beats the shit out of Shia LaBeouf, all of these things. Shia LaBeouf is trending today because he just gave an interview where he said, "Yeah, I want to apologize to my dad. None of that was true. In fact, my dad was awesome. My dad took me to all the auditions. My dad always loved me. My dad never raised a hand to me. He went on and on about how bad he feels that since making this movie a few years ago, he has basically destroyed his father's public reputation. His father can't go anywhere. Like, people go, "Oh, that's Shia LaBeouf's dad." And then somebody whispers, "He abused his son mercilessly when he was young." And it's not true. And so Shia LaBeouf's dad, who basically busted his ass for him his whole life, I get kind of, he admits he had some, he wasn't exactly a real dependable guy, but he was a father, a loving father who cared for his son and never did any of the terrible things that Shia LaBeouf said that his dad did in the movie Honey Boy. So screw you, Shia LaBeouf. You're a piece of garbage. And I hope your career, that you are a shit person. Screwing over your poor dad like that. Your dad's walking around, people like, "That's Shia LaBeouf's abusive father." And he's just in Target. He's just looking. Stallone is trending. Let's see here. Stallone is trending because Stallone's going through a divorce. Stallone's got a lot going on, man. Stallone's got a new movie, right? Isn't there a new movie on Netflix or something? I don't know. I was flipping around and I saw something that's Stallone. He's getting a divorce. Inside Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin's issues. She says he tends to do things on a whim. Well, yeah, you know why, Jen? Because he's Stallone. Because he's Sylvester Stallone. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He's Sylvester Stallone. You call it on a whim. I call it he doesn't have anywhere to be. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He ain't punching a clock. He doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to check a schedule. He's Sylvester Stallone. Also, she didn't like his new dog. He got a big Rottweiler, and she was like, "Oh, I can't handle this." Nickelodeon is trending. Nickelodeon is trending because this is like a slow-moving story that has sort of been making its way for easily a decade at this point. This concerns something that James and I, on our Pillow Talk show every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. right here, James Parker and myself talked about Disney Channel and Nickelodeon shows and how uncomfortably sexualized they seem to be. They seem to sexualize the girls, certainly. I don't know the boy. Maybe I didn't notice the boys because I'm heterosexual. Maybe they're sexualizing boys as well. But the way they dress these girls, we're talking about who I imagine are 13, 14, 15-year-old girls. And they're like, they're dressing them up like little, you know, club girls, like, like they're 25 years old and they're out, club hopping with the ladies on a Saturday night. It's always been a little bit uncomfortable for me. We were just talking about this. James and I were just talking about this the other day. So now this is happening. Nickelodeon's nightmare. Dan Schneider accused of sexualizing child stars as well as assaulting staff writers. Now, Dan Schneider is a guy who's been popping in and out. You know who Dan Schneider is, especially if you're from the 80s. You didn't know that he went on to do this, but you remember Dan Schneider. Do you remember Head of the Class? Remember Howard Hessman? Remember Robin Givens, Head of the Class? It was basically Welcome Back, Kotter, but it was 10 years later, and they figured Americans are stupid. They'll forget that we did this show 10 years ago. So Head of the Class. Dan Schneider was the fat kid. Remember the fat kid? I think it was Arvid and Dennis Blunden. Dennis Blunden was his name. It was Arvid and Dennis Blunden. They were two of the nerdy kids in the class. Dennis Blunden was the heavyset kid. That's Daniel Schneider. That is Dan Schneider, who stopped acting after Head of the Class and went behind the camera and became one of the most prolific television producers in the history of children's programming. Dan Schneider, Dennis Blunden from Head of the Class, went on to basically make stars out of everybody from Ariana Grande to that McCurdy girl. I mean, he created all of those shows for Nickelodeon that made huge stars out of all of these young teen popettes. Bombshell Insider Report detailed a myriad of allegations against the mega showrunner. That's him, Dan Schneider, including on sets with the likes of Jamie Lynn Spears and Ariana Grande. So Jamie Lynn Spears, there's another big one. Across 2 decades, Nickelodeon's master hitmaker, Dan Schneider. Do you know what this guy's worth? Do you know what Dennis Blunden from Head of the... He's probably easily worth half $500 million. Even, just conservatively, $500 million. Across 2 decades, Nickelodeon's master hitmaker, Dan Schneider, has been at the center of hostile workplace allegations. #MeToo controversies, and now the allegation that his tween-targeted shows overly sexualized its stars among the likes of Amanda Bynes, Ariana Grande, and Jamie Lynn Spears. Sam and Cat actress Jeanette McCurdy, who co-starred opposite Grande in the iCarly spin-off series, alleged in her memoir, "I'm Glad My Mom Died," that a Nickelodeon creator, believed to be Schneider, frequently supplied children with alcohol and requested massages on set. You don't request massages from teen girls, okay? Forget about the alcohol thing. Do I even need to mention the alcohol thing? That's an obvious one. You don't work around a bunch of 15-year-old girls and go, "I sure could use a massage, ladies." That is like apex creeper. That is... Ugh. McCurdy was offered $300,000 in hush money, she claims, by the network, not to come forward with her allegations against Schneider. So he doesn't work there anymore. Like Schneider, they stopped working with him. Nickelodeon finally said, "Okay, we can't. I know you got a million more ideas on shows. They're going to make us a whole bunch of money because you, sir, you seem to understand the mindset of the teen girl." Yeah, that bet he does. Here's my takeaway. I've been watching this story for a long time because I'm fascinated by the fact that it's Dennis Blunden from Head of the Class. So I'm fairly familiar with the way this story has sort of evolved over the years. I think he's probably a pedophile. I really do. I've seen enough. There's enough. First of all, I've seen examples of what he thought was appropriate children's programming. And this whole conversation started because just a couple nights ago, James and I were like, "Dude, do you ever watch Disney Channel and Nickelodeon and think, oh my God, this is not appropriate for teen?" That's basically the conversation we had. So there you have it. So Nickelodeon is trending because everybody's coming out of the woodwork now to say, stop putting 15-year-old girls with breast implants in bikinis. That was another story. he apparently, according to one source, wanted a bunch of the teen girls on one of his shows to get breast implants. He wanted them at 15, 16 to have big giant boobs. No, but they're not sexualizing these teen shows on Nickelodeon. Queen of the South is trending. Queen of the South. Did you guys ever watch Queen of the South? Queen of the South is a really good show. If you like the whole like Narcos, Breaking Bad, there's stuff about drug use, whatever it is, Snowfall, whatever these shows are that you like. Ozark. Queen of the South is a good one. It's not one of the higher profile ones, but it's a good one. And I've been watching Queen of the South. I'm all caught up. I mean, I started watching it like 5 years ago. And I didn't, and I know that I would have looked into this before. I didn't know it was a true story. I didn't know that the woman depicted in Queen of the South, who is a drug dealer based here in North Texas, based here in Dallas, she becomes like the Mexican-American connection. I didn't know it was a true story. And apparently it is a true story. And it's based on somebody who was known as the Queen of the Pacific. She was Mexican drug lord. She is the character that is the character on Queen of the South is based on. A Mexican woman whose links to drug traffickers earned her the nickname the Queen of the Pacific is demanding compensation from Netflix for an award-winning show that she says is based on her life. Sandra Avila Beltran has filed a claim with Mexico's intellectual property agency, alleging that the character Teresa Mendoza in Queen of the South is inspired by her own story. Avila Beltran wants 40% of the royalties from Netflix and Spanish language television network Telemundo. Her lawyer, Israel Razo, told Milenio TV, saying that the show had hurt the 61-year-old's reputation. She was known as the Queen of the Pacific. She was known as like a drug dealer. How does a show about a drug dealer hurt the person who's known as a drug dealer's reputation? Living with the nickname of a drug trafficker is a very difficult thing, he said. In response, Netflix and Telemundo argued that Avila Beltran's life is a matter of public interest, so there are no grounds for a complaint, according to documents published by Milenio's sister. All right, so they're going to fight that out. We're going to see. But I'll tell you, Netflix's response saying that her story, that this woman's story is of public interest, that tells me that it is a true story. That's not Netflix didn't say this is a fictional series. This isn't about. That's not what they said. That's not what they said. They did not say. So that's interesting. Now, when I re-binge Queen of the South in a year or two, and I will, I'll re-binge it when I read because it is good. It's very good. It's very, very Breaking Bad-y, very Narcos, it's like that. Except that the Pablo character is a woman and she's brutal. Anyway, we'll move on from that. But yeah, so there you go. Okay, so Winnie the Pooh is trending. And I want to show this Winnie the Pooh trailer, but I don't know that I can. So we're going to do this thing again where I'm going to show you a trailer of the new Winnie the Pooh movie. Oh, why am I showing you the new Winnie the Pooh trailer? Because, isn't this fun? Apparently, the rights to Winnie the Pooh quietly lapsed a few years ago. So anybody and anyone who wants to make a Winnie the Pooh movie or write a Winnie the Pooh book can, because the original creators, the original trademark or copyright or whatever that is, it expired and nobody went, oh, we should probably renew our family ownership of the Winnie the Pooh. They didn't do that. So Winnie the Pooh went out into the ethosphere for anybody that wants to do a Winnie the Pooh thing. I could do a show. I could call this the Winnie the Pooh show, and they couldn't get me because it's a free use name now. Anyway, so the first non-licensed Winnie the Pooh show movie, it's a movie, is coming, and it's it ain't any Winnie the Pooh that you know. So I'm going to try and show this trailer. Once again, I'm going to ask my people in the chat room to let me know if this ridiculous echo is becoming a problem here. we're gonna get it fixed. In the meantime, I may just not play any video because I don't know why when I play videos I get this incredibly bad echo. So let's just see if this one will work. Hopefully it will. You guys in the chat room, tell me if there's an echo. Oh, can't believe I don't know why this is happening. No kidding, you don't know why it's happening. You're stupid when it comes to these things. Yes, I know. All right, so let's give this a try. Okay. Can we make it bigger? Nope, don't want to do that. I promise I'm not going to flip out. I'm not going to flip out if it's bad. And by that, I mean, like if there's like an unlistenable echo or whatever there is. Oh, let's see if we can watch this now. Okay, here.
You know, you're the first person I ever shown this place to.
Special.
We should be close now.
To find them.
We will. Look, Eeyore, we were friends for many years, and they're out there.
Okay, so are you getting the premise? Okay, so the premise of this new Winnie the Pooh movie, it's glitching. It's fucking glitching. It's why can't I play anything? I don't understand it. I don't understand why this all of a sudden happened. But no echo. It's glitching, but no echo. All right, whatever. So the premise here is that Christopher Robin has abandoned Pooh. And Pooh and Piglet and Eeyore and Tigger and all of them, they have been forced now without the love and constant companionship of a young Christopher Robin who has grown up and moved on with his life. Winnie the Pooh, they've all retreated back into the forest and they've become feral. Yeah. Winnie the Pooh, not only feral, but they seem at some point to have crossbred with like Jason Voorhees or something. So that's the premise. Christopher Robin is returning to what? Pooh Corner, whatever they called that. That wasn't it when the Pooh Corner? Isn't that where? So Christopher Robin is returning now as a grown young man, and he's going to try and reconnect with his old friends, you know, Pooh and Piglet and Tigger and all of them. So here we go.
Close now.
We're not going to find them.
Will, Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, we were friends for many years, and they're out there.
Christopher, we need to leave. Now.
I really need to find out what's happening, okay?
They've been abandoned by Christopher Robin. Oh, it's Pooh! Or was that Piglet? That's right. They turned wild. But not just like he's not a bear. He's like a slasher.
And detestable. We need to go. There's Laura's there. There's someone else outside.
You people are not helping. The last person to post anything about it was Frank, no echo, like 5 minutes ago. Is it working? Help me. Look at that.
We used to be friends. Why are you doing this, please? I would have never left, I swear. I swear.
Thank you, Frank, for being the only one. Oh, thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Look at it. It's Pooh and Piglet. The Winnie the Pooh family, they let their trademark lapse. And so now anybody who wants, you can make a Winnie the Pooh porn. You can do that if you want. You can call it Winnie the Pooh, the porn movie. You can do that now. And so the first Winnie the Pooh movie is coming out, and it's that. It's a slasher. It's Piglet. It's Winnie. They're pissed off. Christopher Robin has abandoned them. They receded back into the forest where they became feral. But more than just feral, they're wearing flannel shirts and carrying knives. So something else happened. Melissa, that movie looks crazy. That movie, it does, doesn't it? Right? Like, if you told me about that movie, like if you came up to me and you said, hey, Winnie the Pooh movie where they went back into the woods and now they're feral, And it's kind of like a slasher movie. It's like, imagine if it was like Nightmare. No, imagine if it was like what was Friday the 13th, but just replace Jason Voorhees with Winnie the Pooh. If you describe that to me, I'd be like, no, that sounds like a really stupid movie. But I watched the trailer. I'm seeing that movie. I am totally seeing that movie. That movie looks fun. That movie looks like a trip. Crazy. Let's see how they describe. Oh, I don't have the story here now. Sorry, this is from IGN. Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore watched the disturbing new trailer for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which takes a violent new turn on the classic story. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, let's see what else. This is a good one. All right, so this was trending. Let's have a conversation, guys. Gather around. Oh, by the way, here. I should put this up. I haven't put this up. We don't get tips on this show anymore. Sometimes we do. Jeff does. April, thank you. Appreciate anybody. But, we're desperate for tips. It is the last day of the month. We are not going to make it. We just need to see if we can get as close as we possibly can. So if you want to tip me, go ahead. Please do. Treat me like your bartender. Treat me like your barista, your car park, whatever the hell you want to do. Just drop a little something. You can do it at Cash App or Venmo. Okay, now gather around. Let's have a conversation here. This is trending, and typically I don't include these kinds of things when they trend because, but I happen to have a stake in this one, so I have an opinion here. I have a take, and I'd like to talk about it with you. Here's what is trending. Ready? It's a simple question, and I would like to see the chat room respond. Okay, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna wait until the chat room responds. So the show will not continue until the chat room responds to this question that I'm going to ask you, okay? Are you ready in the chat room? Are you ready? Hold on. Why does Mama Beller say she can't hear? I know that's from a while ago. I know that's from a while. I don't know. All right. So here's the question I want you to respond to, okay? Are you ready? Here's the question that's trending. And this is it, as simply as this. Breaking Bad or Ozark? Go. Let me know. Let me know, chat room, and then I'll tell you why you're right or wrong. We're waiting out the delay. All right, first one in. Al Gamboa goes with Ozark. Jeff goes with Breaking Bad. Adam goes with Breaking Bad. Okay, so far we got Breaking Bad beating Ozark. Let's see. Anybody else want to chime in? I know there's more of you there with opinions. Unless, of course, you didn't see it. We've got another one for Ozark. We've got another one for Breaking Bad. Another one for Breaking Bad. Adam says Breaking Bad seems to be running away with this. Now, I am in the middle of a Breaking Bad rebinge. I am in season 4, episode 7. That's where I left off. So I started some point last week. I started watching Breaking Bad. Oh, it was the conclusion of Saul. Yeah, that's it. I finished watching Better Call Saul, and I thought, Breaking Bad episode 1. Why not? Why not just jump right into Breaking Bad? I've got the story. Now I know the bad. Now I know what happened in the months before we're introduced to Walter White and all that. But, Breaking Bad or Ozark? Isn't that a tough one, huh? I think that the last few episodes of Ozark sucked. Like, I really had difficulty with the way Ozark wrapped it up. I did not have that same problem with Breaking Bad, although we'll see, because, probably in a week or so, I'll be getting to the final episode of Breaking Bad. I don't know. Ozark is winning. I will tell you that Ozark is winning, and the last time I checked, it wasn't even close. It seemed like Ozark was just running away with it. In fact, it was Ozark that was trending. Ozark is trending and not Breaking Bad. The question, Ozark versus Breaking Bad, that's trending, but Ozark is trending higher than that question is, which tells me that most people are saying Ozark because Ozark is trending. And I'm trying to read these trends and figure out what they mean. Melissa's not seen either one. Well, then you know what I would say to you, Melissa? I would say that I am jealous of you. You know why I'm jealous of you? Because should you ever find yourself with an extended period of time to lay on the couch and watch television, you've got 2 of the greatest television series that have ever been produced, and you don't know the first thing about them. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the twists and turns. You don't know I am jealous of you because you have that in your future. I've already seen them. I don't have that. I don't have that to look forward to, but you do. What is my broken leg show? There is a broken leg show. There is a show. I call it my broken leg show. But if I'm ever like in a bad accident where I'm like laid up and I can't do anything, there's 24. That's right. 24. I have never seen 24. And I've 24 and Lost. And what's the other one? There is one other one that I have. And I call them my broken leg shows because there are shows that I will not watch until I don't know, I get some terrible medical news, right? Where I can't do anything. So I know that I have these shows that everyone says are so great that I don't know the first thing about that I have in my future. So I'm very excited about that. Dustin says Ozark because he never watched B&B. Again, I would say to you, Dustin, I am currently on my third time through Breaking Bad. And it's still good. It's still good because there is here's how you know a series is really good. When you can binge it multiple times, and even like me with Breaking Bad, the third time that you're watching it, you realize that the storylines and the connective tissue that brings the entire series together, whether it's something from season 1, episode 5 to season 4, episode 3, there are connective tissues that when you watch them all, there is so much of that in a show like Breaking Bad, in a show like The Sopranos, in a show like Peaky Blinders, there are so many complicated and little things and big things that you can watch a series like that. Like I'm in season 4. I've seen the whole series. Every episode, I don't know what's going to happen next because I forget because there was so much going on. There are so many other storylines. There are so many other things that maybe you watched the first time, you didn't really pay attention to it because you didn't think it was a big deal, but now you're watching the series for the second time and you go, oh, that's important because that plays into what's going to happen in a couple of episodes you know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's how you know a show is really good. When you can watch it 2 or 3 times and it's like you're watching it for the first time. Ultimately, I know how the series ends, right? But I forgot about all the little stuff, all of the tremendous acting, all the just miraculous performances. The performances in Breaking Bad I know that, Bryan Cranston gets all the love. Bryan Cranston and then, Jonathan, whoever plays Mike Ehrmantraut. Certainly Mike Ehrmantraut gets a lot of love. Cranston gets a lot, but everybody is so good. Everybody. Hank is so good. Giancarlo Esposito as Gus Fring is just absolutely brilliant. It's just such a good show. Everything about that show is so good. And yet I still don't consider Breaking Bad to be in my top 5 of best shows of all time. But I do love it. It's just not a top 5 show. I think Breaking Bad in my most recent list of favorite 1-hour shows of all time, I think Breaking Bad came in 6. But that doesn't matter because my top 50 are all 5-star kick-ass shows that you can't go wrong if you decide to watch. So if you're show number 45 on my list of favorite shows of all time, there's not a whole lot of difference between 45 and say 5 because, they're all good. There's been a lot of really good shows, especially in this past 20, 25 years of what we're calling peak TV. There have been more, I bet you every great show that I've ever seen on my entire list has come in the last 25 years. Probably not true because I would slide in Hill Street Blues. Hill Street Blues for me is always like, I think it's the first example of what peak TV was going to become in 20 years. Hill Street Blues was like the introduction of that style. Gritty streets, dirty. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? That's all that I have prepared for the day. So let's go over and let's see exactly what is trending now. Let's see what we've got new. Ana de Armas. I saw this earlier. I didn't mention this. Ana de Armas, who's playing Marilyn Monroe in the new Netflix film Blonde, is very upset because the new Netflix movie Blonde, the story of Marilyn Monroe, late September, I think is when it's going to come out. We'll be able to see it on Netflix. Got an NC-17. Got an NC-17 rating, and Ana de Armas has no idea why. She's like, I do not. That I've seen things on television, she said, that are far more sexual than what's happening with this. All right, settle down. All right, the dog's going nuts now because the sprinkler guys are here and they're pulling out sprinklers. So So now I got this to deal with. Hold on. What are you doing? Get away. Oh, Jesus. Crazy dog. What the fudge? There we go. All right, that's going to have to work. Go away. Go away. I know. There's people in your yard. I know. And you don't have permission. They don't have permission, and you don't like that they're in your yard. But that's too bad. Ugh. You're blowing a dog's face. Ow! Got me with a claw. Look at these claws. I don't know if you can see these. These dogs have... All right, get out of here. This is a Catahoula. For those of you who don't know. This is a... the full name is a Blue Merle, Louisiana Catahoula leopard dog. That's the full name of the breed. She is they have some different things about them than other dogs. They're swamp dogs. They live in the swamps. Indians in Louisiana and in the swamps used to use these dogs to basically clear the path of alligators and bears and chase. So these dogs were like the Indian fight dogs, so that the Indians could go out in the woods and they wouldn't have to worry about, predatory animals and all that kind of stuff, because the Catahoulas could really do some damage. They're like solid muscle. They're very rare. They're solid muscle. They're big. They're long. They're super fast. They're really athletic. I mean, this is a very athletic dog. I've seen this dog do some crazy things. But the thing about you have to watch out. We call her a CeeLo scissor paws because her paws have long claws on them, and she has like an extra claw that most dogs don't have. I think all dogs don't have it. I think they're the only breed that has it. And it's like an extra claw at the bottom. And they use these because Catahoulas climb trees. They're tree climber dogs. They can shimmy up a tree to chase a bear, or they can shimmy up a tree to chase anything. So they've sort of developed. Also, another cool thing about their crazy hands, they have webbed feet. Their feet are webbed like a duck. Come here. Let me show them I want to show you your little webbed feet. And it's because they can swim super fast. Like when they're chasing something like an alligator or something in the water, they just jump in. But the problem is that we're not getting her groomed properly. So her claws are literally like 10 steak knives. This dog is just walking around with like 10 steak knives going, hi, and trying to get him out of here. I'm out of things to talk about, so I'm just talking about the dog. But that's okay, because she's pretty distracting to me right now. Happy birthday, Jungkook. That's look, this is Jungkook. He's one of these BTS guys. I swear to God, I think this Jungkook kid, I think he celebrates a birthday monthly. It's always something about Jungkook. Today is Jungkook's birthday. Happy 13th birthday, Jungkook. I don't even know how old he is. What are these like boy bands from South Korea? What are they, in their 20s? I don't know. If you told me they were 15, I'd go, that seems right. If you told me they were 25, I'd go, yeah, that seems right. I have no idea how old they are. Jalen Reagor is trending. It looks like the Eagles roster is unofficially at 72 after the release yesterday. 19 more roster moves. Biggest question, is Jalen Reagor on the team at the end of the day? Yeah. I saw my Bears. My Bears picked up that first round bust from last year. Look at that. This is a fine waiver pickup. Alex Leatherwood was taken in the first round last year by the Las Vegas Raiders, and he played like 1 year, a first round draft pick, 1 year, and they cut him. My Bears picked him up. Why not, dude? We need offensive linemen. He's a first round draft pick. Maybe whatever is wrong with him is fixable, because he obviously has skills. He was a first round draft pick in the NFL on the offensive line. So, so maybe there's something to work with there. We'll claim that. We'll claim that bust. I mean, considering all of the busts there, all of the people, in the Las Vegas Raiders situation, we went through it yesterday, how all of the draft picks from the Mike Mayock and John Gruden era have all just been clean from the slate. Total busts. Unfair. Not total busts. But, certainly no Hall of Famers. Let's see. The Red Wedding is trending. Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. Red Wedding is trending. The question being asked is, which was more upsetting? the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones or Aemma Aaron's birthing scene from House of Dragon. Now, this must be something that occurred in House of Dragon on Sunday. House of Dragon is the prequel series to Game of Thrones. So, of course, they're comparing the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones, which, of all the things I've ever seen on television, the Red Wedding, I did not see coming. I did not see that coming, man. I remember watching that Red Wedding episode of Game of Thrones, and I'm like, all right. And by the end of it, I was like, what the hell just happened? How did that? I mean, it was like I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but my God, I couldn't believe it. So now they're saying apparently that there was a scene in the prequel series from this past Sunday. I'll ask Jeff Ballard. I know Jeff is watching House of Dragon. Jeff, what was the birthing scene? I know that you've probably seen both. Jeff Ballard, question to you. What was worse, the birthing scene from House of Dragon or the Red Wedding scene from Game of Thrones? Jeff says the Red Wedding was by far more shocking. Okay, good to know. Good to know, because that's where I put the bar for me, for like things that I've seen on TV where I went, whoa, okay, didn't see that coming. Now we got something going on here. This was kind of boring, and now this is the most incredible television I've ever seen. Yeah, the Red Wedding's pretty good. Okay, good to know. Now, Jeff, you're trying to get me to give up my plan to not watch House of Dragon. My plan is to allow all of the episodes of House of Dragon to accumulate. And then I will, once there are a full season, I will then go and watch all the episodes because I like to binge. I don't like to be held hostage. And that's what having to wait an entire week for the next episode to me is. You're holding me hostage. I'm ready to watch another episode. I know you got them. Release them. Let me see But Jeff wants me to, Jeff's like, maybe you ought to reconsider. And I tell you, I watched the first episode. I watched the very first episode. That was the plan all along. I would watch the first episode, decide how I felt about it. And then if I wanted to move forward with the series, then I would just record all of them and I'll binge them. So that's where we are. I really enjoyed the first episode. The first episode of House of Dragon, I really enjoyed. And I'm so tempted to watch the second episode, but I can't. I want to be able to watch them all. And I know that there is no way if I get like 8 episodes logged, I'm not going to sit and watch 8 episodes in a row, but mentally it brings me peace knowing that if I wanted to watch all of it, I could, you know what I mean? And it brings me some consternation thinking that I can't watch another episode because I got to wait a week. So I don't want to deal with that. That's like, ugh. So I'll ignore it. There's other things. It's why I'm rebinging. One of the reasons why I'm rebinging Breaking Bad right now, because I need something to occupy my time while I wait for the House of Dragon episodes to build up. Oh, I am thinking. I have decided what my next rebinge is going to be. And with the absence of any new series that really captures my attention that I can binge an entire first season, I'm going back and I'm rewatching things. So my next rewatch, my next full season 1 episode, or my full pilot episode through series finale, my next full rebinge is going to be The Wire. Nope, The Shield. Why do I always get The Wire and The Shield mixed up? They're both great. They're both incredible shows. One is better than the other. Yeah, one is better than the other. The Shield is better than The Wire. The Shield is better than, I'm sorry. Oh, I know. The Wire is the height of television. No, The Wire's great. Wire's 3 or 4 on my list of favorite shows of all time. The Shield is also 3 or 4. I don't know. I just know that I think that right now, if like I had to go who's 3 and who's 4, it would be The Shield 3, The Wire 4. I love The Shield. Oh, The Shield is so good. That was such a crazy show. Leonardo DiCaprio trending. We already talked about that. He broke up with his girlfriend. Apparently that passes for news these days. Here he is. Alex Leatherwood, Adam Schefter. Raiders waived Alex Leatherwood per source. And then that's followed up by Chicago Bears make move to acquire I don't know if we got him. What does that mean? Did we get him? Or are we making moves to acquire this potential bust? I don't know. Whatever. Look, you're going to tell me that there's a first-round offensive lineman, a first-round from 1 year ago. He's 23 years old. You're telling me there's a first-round, a guy who, and by the way, he was rated first round by everybody. I mean, this was not a reach going with Alex Leatherwood. He was one of the best offensive linemen in college football this year. So you're telling me 1 year, one year we're going to throw him away? I'll take a flyer on him. Are you kidding me? He's another first-round pick. He's a first-round pick. He is someone who has been judged to have first-round talent that you can add to your team, who's still on a rookie contract, who's whatever. Take a flyer. Doesn't hurt. Does not hurt. Top secret is trending. A new Department of Justice court filing makes a damaging accusation against former President Donald Trump. Okay. Don't care about that. Let's see. Who else? What else do we have here? They all knew. Nope, don't care about that. Nope, don't care about that. I can tell by the trend whether or not I want to go down that road. A lot of this stuff is just... San Diego Rockets is trending. I didn't know this. This has been trending all morning. This is kind of interesting to me. So the Houston Rockets are wearing their hardwood classic uniforms tonight, which basically it's like the NBA version of their throwback uniforms. But the Houston Rockets will be wearing the uniforms that they wore when they were the San Diego Rockets. The Houston Rockets will be wearing their old San Diego Rockets uniforms tonight. I didn't know that the Rockets were in San Diego. And here's why. The Houston Rockets being called the Houston Rockets with the Johnson Space Center and NASA and all of that. They've got the Astros in baseball. They've got the Rockets. And I mean, it made sense. It seemed like, so you're telling me they were the Rockets first in San Diego? They were called the Rockets? What does San Diego have to do with rocketry? San Diego has to do with military, the military naval bases and all that. What do they have to do with rocket? Houston has a lot to do with rocketry. So I understand. Anyway, I didn't know that. San Diego Rockets. The Houston Rockets unveil their hardwood classic jerseys and uniform, which are themed around the franchise's time in San Diego. Were they called the Rockets in San Diego? Yeah, Adam says the same thing. He says he knew that they were from San Diego, but I always wondered why they were called the San Diego. Were they known as, or were they called something else and they're just calling them the San Diego? I don't know what's going on. This is what Wikipedia is for. You just look up Wikipedia, look up Houston Rockets, to give you the whole history. Like, they should have been like the San Diego Jets or the San Diego Warships, or something like that. So, San Diego Seaman. No, you can't do that one. Anyway, there you have it. This is weird. Trending at number 30, which is way down, which is very strange. Adam Thielen is trending. I don't know why he's trending. Whatever, is he hurt? I don't know. All right, it doesn't appear that Adam Thielen is hurt. Oh, is Jalen Rager? Oh, is that what it is? Is Jalen Rager? It looks like maybe Jalen Rager is going to the Minnesota Vikings, and so it's about Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson and Jalen Rager. Well, okay, let's slow it up. Justin Jefferson, I think, is probably the most under the radar best wide receiver in football. Justin Jefferson is a stud. I know, because I have to play him twice a year. He is a monster. You talk about all these. I know people who really know football know Justin Jefferson, but I don't think he gets the love and the appreciation that he's a monster. Adam Thielen is also an incredibly talented player. Jalen Rager, you get proof, kid. Your first team just released you. You're looking like you might have been a mistake. So as a draft pick. So I don't know about getting all excited about Jalen Rager with Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. Look, Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen are fine together. All right, they also got Dalvin Cook up there. Man, I'm telling you, Minnesota. I don't like Kirk Cousins, but he seems to be able to get that offense to work. I think Minnesota is going to be really good this year. Really good. Which is hard for me to say because they're in my division. And sorry. It's all right. My team's going to suck. My team's going to suck, and we are okay with that. Oh, God. Yeah, okay, folks. I think that's going to be it. I think we're going to end the show on that. 10 minutes early. I do apologize. I'm sorry. Woo! I am sweating it up. Been doing this entire show here with no air conditioning. The dog is not happy. The dog is just like totally passed out now. She's like completely out on the floor. Good for her. Live your life, girl. Trying to see if there's anything else. I'm just trying to extend. Just looking for more reasons for us to hang out a little bit longer.
I have got my poetry. I have got
San Diego Seaman, maybe the San Francisco Seaman, Jeff Ballard says. All right, hold on. Hold on. Byron, where are you getting this? Byron Granger. Here, well, why not? I don't know where this is coming from. What the heck? All right. This is a joke, Byron? Byron's funny, so I don't know if this is a joke or not. The partial scalp of Mikhail Gorbachev containing his signature birthmark to be removed, preserved, and displayed. Here's the problem with the world we live in. That sounds absurd. That sounds like a joke. Probably isn't. Probably totally a thing that would happen in this day and age. I don't know. To me, to my better judgment, that sounds like an incredibly tacky and real. I mean, look, you're desecrating a dead man's body. What are you doing? This doesn't seem like something that would. You bring it up in a meeting, and it just seems like there should be somebody in the meeting who goes, "No, we ain't doing that. That's bad." Like somebody's got to be able to speak. I don't know if that's true or not. He made it up. All right, there you go. See, he made it up. But in this day and age, that sounded like, yeah, probably could be true. Anything is possible. Things are going good. Always had to be ungood. It is understood. Well, you don't like the way I sing? What's the matter, doggy? She just woke up when I started singing. Look time. On a never-ending quest. Hey, can I just point something out? I have no allergies. Today. 100% clean. Breathe. Well, I mean, some boogers. We all got kind of boogers. This so good. I have been fighting bad out. It's been better for the last four days or so. But man, I just realized I'm not wheezing. Like when my allergies are really bad, you'll hear me. I'll go. Let me see if I can work one up. No, see, there's not even any allergy going on. I can't get a good wheeze going. Very pleased. I would like to say thank you for all the thoughts and prayers concerning my battle with allergies. They did absolutely nothing, but it was nice of you to actually take a moment and think something positive for me. I appreciate that. But no, thoughts and prayers did nothing. You know what did something? Pills. That's what did something. Pills. Science. Medicine. That's what did something. Your thoughts and prayers are appreciated, though. As are all kindnesses at all time. Should all be a little bit cooler to one another. Should all just be a little bit nicer. The best is yet to come. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm done with you. I love you, and we'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock for Pillow Talk with myself and Parker right here. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, we'll see you tonight at 9, and then we'll see you again tomorrow for High Noon, right here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform.
Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.